Okay, so sometimes the YouTube feed, I don't know, this is good, I think. So I'm going to try to make some bread. It's a pan-fried bread. So I've got type 0 flour, a little bit of sugar, which I've got 10 grams of it here on the scale, 150 milliliters of warm water. There'll be a little pinch of salt later. And the yeast it calls for 6 grams of yeast. This is a 15-gram container here. So I'm going to just take a knife and split that open, and allowing for a little bit of waste, I'm going to end up with a little bit more than 6 grams of yeast. And then that gets mixed with the water and the flour, and Pretty soon we're going to have a dough for a pan-fried bread. Okay, so I've split my yeast. Now I'm going to just carefully, one-handed. No, it's not going to make it one-handed. I'll scrape it up with my knife and put it in the bowl here, ready to mix with the water and get things started. And you are going to get put in the refrigerator, paper clipped together for another day. Okay, and so to the fridge with you. Pane Angel. There's the yeast. Let's put it in the water. And they say warm water. And the yeast, they talk about, stir till it dissolves. But this stuff is so fine. So I think I've just got myself a very good yeast here. I don't think I'm going to have to, let's get that off the side there. Okay, it looks dissolved. So now what we're going to do is give the yeast something to eat, which is the sugar. Okay. And just get that sugar dissolved in the water. All right. Until I don't see any more sugar on the bottom. I still see some sugar on the bottom there hanging around. So let's just keep that moving. Probably should have warmed up this pan. It would help to keep the whole thing warmer and nice. Okay. Not seeing any sort of remnants of the sugar there, so I think I've got that. So now it's time to add the flour. So this is 450 grams of flour. That's a significant amount of flour. Okay, there it is. That's a significant pile of flour. Now that's going to go through the strainer here to get sifted. I'm not going to be able to do that with one hand. And a little bit of salt is going to go in there too. And the recipe calls for 10 grams, 2 teaspoons of salt. I'm just going to follow the recipe this time. I might adjust that salt downward because we're in Umbria and they don't salt the bread here at all. So that's what we're shooting for. Okay, in that short time, while I was weighing out the flour and adding the salt to it, I did get, I think, 10 grams there, even though the scale reads 455. This is an instrumentation issue. I could see some little bubbles starting in here. This has not even been 5 minutes. So that's a good sign, good active yeast. So let's get this sifted in there and get it working. Okay, sifted through, okay. It's a good idea to have a big one of these things, because now it's in there. It's time to get it all stir together, and then this will get covered and sit aside for an hour to rise. Okay, I almost forgot, 150 grams of warm milk. So let's get that in there and keep stirring. It's starting to look like something here now. I'm going to add 45 milliliters of olive oil, knead it by hand till it's soft and smooth, then cover and let rise in a nice warm place for an hour. Wow, that was a trip. It's almost like, I don't know, fooling around with some kind of an alien life form or something. You put both hands around behind it, what I did anyway, and sort of twisted it this way. Imagine both hands working this way, which exposes the inside. You squish the side facing you apart, and then it gets sticky. So that's why all this extra flour is here. I threw some extra flour in there to coat it and flip it over and keep making a ball like that. I don't know how in the world you learn this without just doing it. Anyway, now is the time you put a little bit of olive oil on it, and this is to keep it from sticking. I'm going to cover it with some plastic wrap, and this little bit of olive oil here is supposed to just keep it from sticking to the plastic wrap there. But at least it's not sticking to my fingers. My gosh, what a weird thing that is for the first time, to get in there and knead some sticky dough, and it comes out pretty good there. I think so. We'll see. There's definitely going to be a little bit of luck involved if this comes out good. Like my grandmother Bess did it. She used a tea towel, not plastic wrap, to cover it up. And I'm not sure if it's going to stick to the tea towel or not. We'll see. But this is now going over on, I think it's going to go over here on this register. And we'll go ahead and see, that's going to be our warm spot. I think she had a good spot. It was on top of the refrigerator. I can't get at mine, so that's where it's going to sit for an hour. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to go for it. I was going to just make the bread by itself the first time, but I'm going to, this is supposed to, what I ultimately want to end up with is some kind of potato bread. So I'm going to use these potatoes, that carrot, that onion, and make a filling to wrap that dough around. I've got about 55 minutes here till the dough is risen. So I think I can make that stuff into a good filling here. We'll see. Okay, it might be a little too much onion. And I don't know how to spice it yet. But I'm going to start getting things in the pan and cooking. Yeah, I think one serious slice of pancetta, not guanciale, pancetta, just as a seasoning. That's a big slice though. I should probably use half of that for this amount, but I'm going to use it all. Okay, the pancetta's been added. Pancetta is just bacon. Keep this all moving here. Let that pancetta melt, and that gives us a little bit more fat to cook in. Get these potatoes nice and soft, and the onions, the carrots nice and soft, and hopefully the onions caramelized a little bit. Yeah, when that's all starting to look pretty good. Salt, I don't know. Pepper, definitely. I need to learn more about spices. Okay, so I've reduced that heat just a little bit there. Well, it's about half medium. It's a big burner too. And I added a little bit of pepper and a little bit of pepperoncino, which is the hot pepper flakes to this. And so just letting that cook. And I've still got, let's see here, 35, 40. I've still got 40 minutes. So this should be done in time for the bread to be risen. And then the bread's going to get actually cooked in this same pan with some of this stuff wrapped inside. So I guess it's a question of how are we going to make this into something that's easy to work with a spoon and get inside that bread. I think it's going to be good though. It smells good. Okay, let's take a peek at our bread. Oh, it is rising a little bit. Needs to be a little bit warmer than I think though. Okay, and even though it's a half an hour till the bread is risen, it might take a little more because I turned the heat up a little bit on it there. The potato, carrot, onion mixture here is coming along very good. Getting the caramelization going on in the tomato, the carrots there. And I think I don't have a potato masher, which is horrible. Or do I? I might have a potato masher up here of sorts, but I don't think I want to get out that beast. Do I? Yeah, maybe. I might just mash them up with a spoon. Well, this is overkill, but it's an Italian-made potato masher, and I'm going to try it. It's brand new. I don't know how, it's the guanciale is going to get caught in there. Oh, it's not guanciale, it's pancetta. Bacon, Italian for bacon, pancetta, really. It's going to get caught in there, and I'm going to have to pick it back out because I'm not going to pick out all that pancetta before I run this through the masher. Something like that. Yeah, I'm talking myself into using a spoon and saving this thing for next time. Okay. We'll see. Okay, so I'm just going to put this in a bowl here and try to mash it up just by hand with a fork or something and make the stuffing for the bread. Okay, here it goes. Just going to mash these potatoes up. Hopefully the carrots will mash up a little bit too. They are. I'm pretty sure the pancetta is not going to mash. And I probably could have cut it into smaller pieces. But yeah, I think this is going to work out here. So just going to put like a tablespoon on each piece of bread, spread it around, try to roll it around in there a little bit before we fry the bread. And that's just to add a little bit of a surprise to the bread. Now, in hindsight, the next time I make this, and I think there will be a next time, I think I'm going to make this a little bit more of this stuffing area here. This stuff in the bread. Just mush it up there so that I can squish it around in the bread okay. It does smell good. Okay, I put just a slight amount too much pepper. Not really. It's good. You know, the caramelized carrots, I just love them. And the onions and the potatoes, those are great flavors. But I did get a little hint of the pepperoncino at the end there. It's not too hot. And I think in the bread, maybe it'll be just fine. Okay, so this is kind of important to find a place where your dough can rise nicely. And I don't think this is the best solution, but it's what I've tried here now, is to allow the hot air from this radiator to come up under. And I don't know, it's making some progress, but we're a little bit behind schedule here, for sure. It was supposed to be fully risen 10 minutes ago, and it has failed to progress. So, we may have a problem. Houston, we have a problem. So this might be a failed adventure, I don't know, but I just took the dough that had risen in that bowl, and it didn't rise as much as I was expecting it to. And I put it out here on a little floured cutting board. I don't know if it's going to work the way it should or not, but I'm going to divide this. I think I'm going to go to 6 pieces. So let's see here. It's about, go this way. And I'll make 6 little breads out of this. I don't know why. I just think this is a good size. I don't know. It has a good feel to it. It might work. Certainly, I'm not sure. But, okay. Now it's time to start. Now it's time to start cooking. To roll this potato carrot mixture up inside each piece and get them frying. I just floured up my board here a little bit. And spread out the dough. I'm just going to try to divide this up into about, I should be more precise about this next time. Yeah, I think it's a good amount. Now I'm going to fold that over and make it into some kind of a little ball and press it out again and start to cook it up. Okay, this is how this came out. Believe it or not, this little piece right here is one of these pieces with this in it. And now, it came out fine, so I'm very encouraged. So I think this pan's hot enough, and there's a little bit of oil left in it. I probably should put a little bit more in there, I'm thinking. But that needs to cook and rise more. I hope it rises. Otherwise, it's going to be like some kind of a Passover bread, I guess, without any kind of time to rise. So I can see at least that my pan's hot. So just leave that sizzle there for a couple of minutes and make up the next one. Okay, so here's how I'm making up the next one. I'm taking a piece like this and just mashing it out over this floured board here, you know, so that it's, you know, smushed out there. And then I'm putting in a little bit of my potato, carrot, bacon mixture. And I swear, I think this could be, there's 1,000 different things you could put in these to make them good. But here we go. Now I'm going to try to continue to do this one-handed. So what I did was fold them like this, fold it over, and capture all that in the middle. Well, if I could pull this off one-handed, that's not going to work. You got to pinch it together here, pinch it together a little bit, and get it to stick together. So it can't be too dry. So you got to get that. You have to get that thing sealed up. Otherwise, when you flip this over, the middle's going to come out of it. I think I got it good enough. Okay, let's see. Oh, okay, this might work. Might work. Get a little bit of karate action here. And flip that over again onto the flour there. Because a little bit of flour on the outside just is a stick relieving surface. Well, you can see some dark spots in here where I think some of this is starting to come through. So it's getting a little bit thin. So I think that's going to be ready to go when this one comes out. Okay, now, it's been cooking in there, what? Oh, not very long. Oh, look, it's getting brown on the bottom. Okay, that's a good sign. It's not puffing up. It's not really like puffing up like crazy. So I think I have a yeast issue here. Maybe the water wasn't hot enough when I put the yeast in. I don't know. Then again, it might be fantastic. We'll see. So, this one's ready. I guess I could start getting the next one ready here. I'll just put Tim off to the side there. And I'm doing this knife I used to chop up my pieces here. And I'm just throw a little bit more flour down here on the board, just to be sure, because that's a good thing. I think with experience here, I could figure out a way to do this. It's not going to be quite so wasteful. I'm going to end up wasting a little bit of flour. And I think here a rolling pin's a good idea. I've got a rolling pin around here somewhere. I'm going to try to roll one of these next ones out here and try to get a little bit more round. I mean, this is as good as I can do with my hand while I'm holding my cell phone to record this with. So there's the shape of it. Now let's get a little bit of this potato, pancetta, carrot and onion mixture into here. It's just like 2 spoons of it. It's not too much. And this one, because of the way it fell, you see how the triangle went into a big flattened out triangle here. I don't know how this is going to work out here. Let's flip it this way first. I'll flip it that way a little bit there. Flip it over this way. Come on there. Go on there, and then close this up. That might work. It might. I got a hole right there. See that? It's not good. Not good. Let's get you down over here. And then flip that. Give it a... Oh, not good at all. Not good at all. You see that hole there? The center came through. That's kind of the cool thing about dough. I've never fooled with dough before, but it's kind of cool. It sort of is forgiving. It's elastic and malleable. Okay, so there's another one. It's a weird shape. Okay, I'm going to get with the rolling pin here now. Try to do something reasonable with these 3. While this one, oh look, it's swelling up. That's a good sign. Oh, look at that, it looks brown. I think this one's done. I think it's done. Okay, so let's get a plate here. And we're just gonna put that one on our plate. And put something over that to keep the heat in. And then the next one's ready. Let's go with the actual next one we made in sequence, which was this one. More oil, maybe, perhaps. And to cook these in olive oil or a little bit of, I think on this sunflower oil would be okay. I don't know, a little bit there. It's actually got a higher boiling point, the sunflower oil and the olive oil. Okay, so let's see. That one's cooking. Let's roll out the next one, see how that goes. Okay, I forgot something. You know, you don't necessarily need a rolling pin for this. If you take those wedge-shaped pieces and just sort of form them into a ball and then pat them out, they come out a lot more round than like this one did. See how it's got like a little bit of a kind of a wedge, remnant of the wedge there, which is not necessarily what you want. And if you just roll it around in your hand a little bit, you can make a ball out of those wedge-shaped pieces, and kaboom. Okay, we're good to go. So we'll make up these last three. And then this guy, how are we doing there? Oh, nice. Maybe a little too cooked. I don't know. It's a little too brown. I was over here fooling around with these guys while that one was cooking. I bet I might actually have to learn how to use a rolling pin here. In the meantime, I'm just going to sort of flatten these out kind of by hand a little bit there. And put my filling in and cook them. Okay, number 2 just came out of the pan. And number 3 of 6 is going to go in. Now, I'm a little concerned about this flap there. I don't know if you saw that or not. And this one is a weird shape, so I'm working on that. And it's not that difficult because if you roll it into a ball, they come out kind of round. And then it's very difficult to do with one hand. And it's not exactly the probably not the best way to do it, is to get this folded over and then pinch it together at the top. And give it a good pinch so that this dough kind of kneads into itself. Okay? I think I'm learning a secret, or rediscovering a secret that actually experts know all about. Okay. A little bit more pinching there. It's not quite getting into itself there. Okay, there. It's sort of, now it's, oh, see that little piece right there? See that? If you keep pinching that, it'll work itself into the dough. Well, this is fascinating. So I'm going to take all that and fold it over and take on a piece of floured board and mush it a little bit. You see here, this one has got more dark spots in it than this one. I think, no, this one's gonna get them too. Because as I mush this out a little bit, okay, it's a little bit rounder. It's not as round as it could be. It's actually not a bad shape. Who cares, really? Now what I've got here, oh, I got a piece. I have no more filling left. I've used up all my filling. And let's see how this guy's doing here. Oh, coming along pretty nicely on a medium heat. I'm gonna put a little bit more oil in here to cook this guy in. And there's so many things to be done here yet. Like, what do you put on the outside? You know, this is a nice situation here where you could put some kind of herbs on the outside or cheese or gosh knows what. But for now, we're just trying it. So these two are on deck, ready to go. And this one's waiting for some crazy idea. Let's get some, try to use up some of this flour around the board here instead of dumping new flour out on the board. Okay, boom. Oop. So this one is going to be fun because I'm going to go just looking in the refrigerator and see what the heck looks good. Okay, I've got a little bit of a crisis here. See how that's popping open? That's not good. So, going to sort of squish this back down. It's not necessarily bad, but something's expanding there. And I didn't seal up geez, correctly. I think it was my problem. I didn't knead this back together, these seams, like I just did in that last one. So I do think that this next one here, it's this one, where these seams were kneaded back together pretty well, might be just fine. So there we go. So you cook, and let's make sure that you're kneaded properly. So what I'm going to do is just, oh geez, it's actually probably too late to do this. It's sort of, you know, I think it's better to do this before you flatten the bread out to get the, you know, when you fold the dough back up over whatever you're filling it with. I think it's better to get that stuff all kneaded together there before you, boom, flatten it out. But we'll see. So anyway, that brings us to this. How am I going to fill this one? I've used up all my filling. It's potatoes, carrots, onions, and a little pepper, and that's what's basically in here. But I've used that up. I think the amount seemed right. So now I'm going to try to make this one just cheese. This is Galbanino, and it's a fantastic mozzarella. Here in Italy, the mozzarella is all fresh, but you can get something resembling the mozzarella, the dried mozzarella we get in the States. And this is it, this Galbanello. It's covered with a wax coating. It's very tasty. It's very tasty. These guys kind of invented this process. It's a 100-year-old process. It's a very serious cheese. And what I'm going to do here is to take the wax off, obviously. One-handed. Let's see how that goes. And the wax actually does come off pretty nicely. And I'm going to shred that up a little bit. It's a lot of cheese for this amount, but I think I can make that work. It's going to be a cheesy bread thing. I should put some other spices in there, I suppose. Or not. While I'm fooling with my cheese on this last one, I couldn't fit it all in there. That's fine. This guy's coming along pretty nicely. And, let's let this side go a little bit more. But it did seal up fairly well. Unlike this one, which didn't seal up very well. I didn't knead it together enough before I mushed it out, smashed it out. I think this one's going to go very nicely. We shall see. Okay, since I think I can do this one-handed, this is this Galbanino mozzarella. I'm just going to make this one kind of like a burrito, right? But what I just learned was, oh, there's a piece of cheese there. It's wanting to come out. It's not going to make it. What I just learned was to knead this together. To knead this, pinch it, pinch it, pinch it, pinch it, pinch it, pinch it, until it forms a bond of some sort, a very interesting bond that keeps things together when it cooks. And then you can mash it out. But really, this particular one doesn't really need to be mashed out. This is it's almost like a cheese burrito bread. This wonderful mozzarella. This should have some sauce in it. Okay, so you can see the potential for this. This bread, this pan-fried bread with, my God, all sorts of things you could make in here. And you know how good this is going to be. A pan-fried bread. It's so basic. It's what humanity was raised on. See here, now here's a good example. See this hasn't pinched. Yeah, so I have to pinch that together a little bit there and make it stick. See, here's one here, too. These little crevices here, you just need to give them a little pinch. They seem to stick together pretty well. Pinch, 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 pinch. See, there's one right there. Pinch, 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 pinch. No, that one doesn't want to go. Give it a good pinch. Yeah, even a good pinch it goes. Okay, so let's see how this guy's coming along here. Oh, yeah, that one's done. And I need another bowl to put this in. Okay, here's the last one. And that is perfect. Look at that. Nice brownness on both sides. Oh, so we're going to put you on the pile. And put in our final one. I mean, these 5 have been made with a potato, carrot, onion stuffing. This one is just mozzarella cheese. So that one I'm going to cook with olive oil. And this is actually, I'm surprised how nicely this is going. And you gotta get the feel of that dough a little bit. Yeah, a little bit more there. Extra virgin olive oil. One needs an outdoor grill for this kind of thing. But if that mozzarella stays in there, all hot and nice and melty, it's a good mozzarella too. That'll be a major coup, because we're on our way to some kind of a stromboli thing here with the mozzarella, some nice, pancetta and some different sorts of meats. It starts to brown up pretty quickly too. I should have left that on this side a little bit longer, really. Get that centered over the burner there. And let that finish cooking. Sort of watch it rise a little bit. I've been getting these other ones ready to go. Boom, 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 boom. And not really watching it rise. Although they obviously have. No, I'm just going to wait. I'm just going to turn this off for maybe a minute or two. And let it do its thing. Okay, this one seems to be swelling up. And I realize now I'm relearning things that, people of old have known for thousands of years. But how consistent things have to be in order to get consistent results. And anyway, it's good to feel these things firsthand. This one's pure mozzarella. And this one I took off the pile. This one I did not knead back together properly. I didn't pinch it enough to get it to come out okay. But I think it's going to be good. We'll see. Okay, so this is my mozzarella one. This is my potato, carrot, and onion filled one. This one just came out of the pan. It's hot, 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 hot. A little bit lighter on this side, a little bit darker on this side, because I want to see the difference between how the bread cooked with those two sides. These 4, the first 4 that came out, they look fantastic. They're going to the refrigerator just like this. Okay, I can say without a doubt, this is a good thing in my manner of. Now, the first piece here I cut off with a knife, I used a fork, but it's a bread. It's a bread stuffed with you know, potatoes, and let's get this in the picture here. Potatoes and carrots and onions and a little bit of a pancetta. I saw, you know, like bacon. And the bread's cooked through. And, oh, the flavors inside. This is like a sandwich you cook. You know, you make your bread and the internals of the sandwich at the same time. It's fantastic. Now, this one's a little different. This is the last one I made. This one's the mozzarella one. I think this will be okay. But I think it's going to be underspiced. You know, because I just threw in the mozzarella at the last minute. Okay? Here's what this looks like. Can you see that? I think that's good. I showed it to you before I even looked at it myself. And the bread's got big air holes in here, which means the yeast did its job. It's puffed up while it was cooking. That was a good thing. And some mozzarella in there. It's a little bit hot. But this one has got all kinds of stromboli potential. This could, yeah, this could replace the stromboli. Maybe it is the stromboli. I don't know. That's good. Just the mozzarella. Good mozzarella is good in there, but you know, there's all kinds of sauce and flavoring options here. You know, just basil and tomato. This little devil. Oh my gosh, it's good. It's fantastic. Okay, so, you know, sometimes you take a chance, it turns out like not that good, not that good. But what I do is I do take chances on this stuff, go with a little bit of intuition, and if it turns out good, I post it here. I don't post stuff that's not good. Jackasses do that. Now, which one's better? I don't know. You know, I think this thing and that thing are two different things. This one's got that cheese. It's got that potential to go in a totally southern Italy direction. All kinds. Italy's a complicated place. There's a lot of directions it could go in. This one, with the cheese in it. And by the way, this bread is supposedly a Turkish bread. So, you know, I have full confidence in the Italians that they're going to look at this and say, there's potential. Let's try that out. That's what they do. That's what they've done for thousands of years. And then they say, oh, this is what I like about it. Let's take that to the next level. So, yeah, I don't know. They're both good. This one, though, I'm thinking here with the potatoes and the carrots and the onions. It's kind of a bit more of a, I don't know, what kind of taste it has to it. Of course, I just got done having some fun with the roasted red peppers, which are fantastic. And I think they would be, you know, possibly a good addition to this. But here, come on, focus, 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 camera. It's a bread baked around a potato, carrot, and onion foundation. So it's almost like eating a bread and a stew baked into one. And what's fantastic about it is you can take either of these, wrap it up in some paper, some plastic, some foil, whatever you got, and put it in your pocket and go. It's going to be cold, you know, by the time you eat it, probably. But it's still going to be pretty good. I'm fairly sure of that. And I'm going to test that tomorrow. Because I've got some over there in the box. I'm going to put in the refrigerator. 4 more of this style. This was the last one with the mozzarella. And even though it's very good, I don't have backups of it. But yeah, you expect more of this in the future if you get any enjoyment at all out of my stupid videos here. Bon appetit.